the new technology, when we're talking about cloud, SaaS type of solution, those will be disrupting the way that we're used to conduct IT business. And for sure, the last conclusion that we came is that if we were going to structure a deal moving forward the same way that we did in 2010 with IBM, irrespective of the vendor or the partner that we'll be finding, we are likely to have pretty much the same result. So this force, and we would be missing some opportunity. So this is one of the major conclusions that we found at that time when we're looking at the IT market at that time. And we felt that we had a once-in-a-generation opportunity to take advantage of where the market was going and to align it with our business plan in order to move forward and leverage this opportunity. So based on this understanding of the market, our business solution, we started to develop our IT solution. And the first piece is obviously we have to run a stable operation and a secure operation. I can tell you if I'm losing the network, you're likely to see my picture on the front page of the Globe and Mail tomorrow morning. For those of you that were that can remember about a month ago, Air Canada went through a major computer outage that may cover all the media across the country. A system outage of this magnitude at the airport will probably translated by the same kind of media coverage. So for sure, the first step is we need to have stability. But it's a bit like when you're playing hockey. You have to know how to skate, but the most important thing is to put the puck in the net. And from that point, so this is the basis we say, but we have to be able to do much further than that. The other piece also that we find out is there's going to be a substantial increase of amount of data that we'll be collecting with the increase of IoT and the passenger processing in general. This amount of data that will be coming, the complexity of the operation, and we have to start to be able to change this data and convert it into information. More and more now our baggage systems are talking to us. We know that we're about to lose a belt or the baggage flow is going well. If we have a moving sidewalk, we know that this moving sidewalk is about to collapse or is doing well. Same thing with all the icing trucks that we're having in the environment. So more and more we are having an incredible amount of data. The piece that is important also, all of you went to the airport. I'm sure you have used a Wi-Fi network at the airport. This network is giving us an incredible amount of information. I don't know who it is, but I can tell you that every Monday morning, that phone is going to Montreal and will reappear in my airport Friday afternoon. So just by the IP address. So this is an incredible amount of information that we can, data, that we can start to make sense out of it. So based on those things, we started to look, okay, what should be our strategy? Where should we invest our IT dollar so it's going to yield the maximum benefit to support our business plan? And we came with a roadmap, or what we call a blueprint, which is 4 distinct layers that I'm going to talk about it in a second, that essentially we feel that if we can put those platforms in place that's going to evolve over time, we have a very good chance to maximize the business benefit of our investment. So the first layer, obviously, is the network and all the infrastructure. If you look at the network that we're currently operating at GTAA was originally installed in 2004 with the construction of T1. So you can see that we're starting to have substantial capacity problem. We're operating a network of more than 2,000 camera systems to ensure the security. We're moving to high definition cameras. So there was an infrastructure problem and a constraint at this level. The other piece to it, which is a second one, so the first layer, more and more we'll be collecting more and more information, more and more data. How now can we start to convert and change this data into information? As I was talking to you about the phone before, it's very nice. Presently, in a very anecdotal way, I can find out historically that I was having a long lineup at the security checkpoint in domestic at Terminal 1. Historically, I'm starting to collect this information. Before it was anecdotal. It's nice to have it historically. You want the good thing is you want to be able to know now you have a problem so you can deal with it. And the nirvana is to be able to predict that in 4 hours from now I'm going to have a problem based on various parameters so I can do something before it's happening. So it's all the notion to move from historical, real-time, into predictive analysis. So at this layer where we're deploying data warehouse and all sorts of analytic tools, we're building the organization capability. It's not only a technology project, but the capability to be able to take the schedule that we're operating. Fundamentally, from a data standpoint, an airport is a schedule. That's what drives everything. The carrier schedule, that's what drives your gate allocation plan, your retail revenue, your parking usage, everything is coming from there, even your construction plan for 5 years. And then from that, you can start to make sense out of it. So that's the second layer. The third layer, now that we have information, you have to start to make decisions with it. The example that I'm using is today we're using sophisticated tool that allow us to do the gate allocation system. So in other words, which flight today will be at which gate. So we have a nice plan that we're planning for tomorrow operation. And then when we're running through a snowstorm, flights are starting to be delayed, canceled. You need to be able to dynamically readjusting the plan. And that's with these layers of tools that you want to be able to redo this adjustment. Same thing with the maintenance program. In a perfect world, you want to be able to predict that you have or to detect that you have vibration in one of the conveyor belt of the baggage system, and you want to be able to dispatch a mechanics tonight while nobody is using it to fix it. So all the asset management system, as well as all the operation, there's this layers of platform that we're putting in place to make better decisions. So we're collecting data, we're creating information, now we're making decision. And the last piece of the puzzle is when you have made decision, you want to communicate the result of your decision to the various stakeholders, which could be the customer, your employees, your various contractors or partner in order to be able to operate. This can be happening through, as an example, the FIT system, the flight information system, those screens that give you your flight, the gate if the flight is late or delayed in the terminal, the website, and so forth. So those are 4 layers that we decide, okay, if we want to maximize business benefit, this is kind of the infrastructure that we have to put in place that's going to evolve over time and that should help us to achieve our goal plan, which is to support that growth. So then the other question that came with, excuse me, well, this is very nice, but how do we do it? How do we make sure that it's happening? And when I joined in 2014, we find out that probably 90 to 95% of all our resources, financial as well as human resources, was about lifecycle management, keeping the lights opening, running the network, upgrading the server just to keep it with the lifecycle management. We were not bringing any value to the organization. All the effort was to keep it there. And even if we're investing 30, 40 million per year, we couldn't keep up, and we saw that the wall was we were going to be hitting a wall. So the strategy to implement the blueprint that we're talking about was we felt that we need to figure out a way to reduce the operating costs and take the savings in order to be able to reinvest it to make this portion happen. And this is the essence of the kind of relationship that we're looking with an outsourcer or partner to say that we appreciate that the bulk of your margin is not on the operation side, it's on the project side. But if you work with us to reduce the cost of the operating side, you know, we will invest with project work with you, so where you will recover your margin, and then we'll be aligned and have a good business success. So based on this approach to implement our blueprint, we went to the guiding principle to implement the strategy. The first piece to it is you have to understand who is doing what in the zoo. And if I was looking what the kind of organization that was in GTAA in 2014, that was an organization that was essentially very technical. I had a lot of people, program manager that knew how to upgrade server, how to upgrade operating system, how to upgrade a network. A lot of people very solid in technology, not enough people that understood the business. When I was talking to those people about what is a gate management system, what is a maintenance program for an asset, we didn't have that expertise internally. And we started to convert toward have people that understood the technology, but more importantly, that understood the business. What is the retail program? How can we increase revenue in terms of retail? So the organization went through a shift, and over the last 4 years, we changed the profile of the people that we were looking for. The second piece of the overall strategy we're looking for, everywhere we can use cloud SaaS solution, we were leveraging it. And the most important thing, we said that the partner that we will be dealing with, since I don't want to be in lifecycle management kind of deal, I want to move from a consumption-based deal more to an outcome-based deal. I will tell to my partner, essentially, this is the numbers of passengers that I will be processing in Terminal 1 at the check-in counter That's up to you to decide how many servers do you need to update it, and more importantly, all the lifecycle management issues surrounding to it over the duration of the contract. That's your problem. I'm out of that business. So this is one of the spirit of the deal, and then base attached to very specific level, we were going to compensate our partner based on this outcome, leaving him the choice to decide how he wants to manage the outcome, which was a leap of faith. You have to tell the people, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. This is the outcome, now you do it. So, but then you're accountable for it. One of the problems, as soon as you're starting to tell a partner how to do your job, how to architecture a solution, you remove accountability from that partner as to the result. And even today, while we have made huge progress, that's probably the reflex that we always have to stop, to not tell your partner how to develop the solution, how to implement the solution. You have to stick to, this is the outcome that I'm looking for to it. And the last piece to it, we want to make sure that we are aligned in terms of incentive. And the example that I'm using is more a generic one, but you'll see from where I'm coming from, is if you want a company to develop a web, usually you'll write a set of specification. You'll tell the vendor to have some specs to code it for you. And at the end of the day, this vendor will try to deliver it against those specs at the minimum cost in order to develop his margin. Obviously, we're not aligned. Well, I want to have the greatest possible usage of this web. But if I turn the table and I'm telling to this partner, I'm going to pay you per numbers of hit on that web. The more hit you're going to have, the more money you're going to have. And on our side, the more we're going to sell, the more business benefits you're going to have. So all the deals where we can, all the kind of relationship we're trying to move toward that, so we are aligned in the solutions that we're trying to implement. Because at that time, our partner has a huge incentive to develop a very good solution, maybe to invest a little bit more, because they're going to see a bit more revenue out of it. So after a long process, we went to in that case, the partner that we select was Wipro. We signed a 7-year contract with Wipro. And essentially, all the technology provider have been outsourced to Wipro. All the technology portion where the GTAA IT organization is way more business driven. So now we can collaborate in order to be able to work to develop the blueprint, but on the long run also, to be able to see what are the business opportunities that we can inject in terms of innovation to help satisfy our growth opportunity in Toronto. So from a timeline standpoint, if you look where we are, after the signature of the contract, it took us about 6 months to orchestrate the transition that took place on December 1st, 2016. Last year, we went, in essence, to a stabilization period where Wipro took from IBM the environment as is, and then we started to architect the solution, the long-term solution, and to evolve it. We showed, in terms of strategy, a constant progression. But the important thing is this blueprint, or this roadmap that I was showing you, is a 3-year program, and right now we're slightly ahead of schedule. So by the end of 2019, we should have completed the implementation of those platforms and help us to move forward. People ask us, and I had that question for the board, why do you want to go for a so long relationship, which is kind of unusual in the RT marketplace? And the response is quite simple. First of all, we had to go through the transition. The transformation that I was talking about, the blueprint, we feel that's 3 years before to put the platform, and then we're going to start to evolve it. And when you want to go through the market to renew that kind of relationship from 2014 to 2016, it took us about 24 months to prepare it to be real, to be very concrete, and to be able to attract vendors. They feel that we're very serious about when we're going in tender. In 2014, when we went in the market, I had to spend a lot of energy to convince the various vendors, the CGI of this world, Wipro, IBM, and so forth, that we're serious and that was not a slam dunk, and we'll give the contract to the partner that we feel that they will be the best fit for our organization. And we feel that if you want to be serious about orchestrating that kind of competitive process, you need to take the time. So that's where the 7 years kind of relationship was coming into the equation.